beautiful soul. My name is Mara, and I welcome you to today's Pick a Card reading. Today, we're taking a look at what step you can take to increase your level of happiness. So, I've got 5 different cards for you to choose from, and as we go through the reading selection, I'll be playing a sound for those of you that like to choose your reading clairaudiently. So, let's go ahead and jump into the reading selection. All right, if you need more time, you can go down to the description box and hit the reading selection timestamp. We're going to begin with reading number 1, but all 5 readings will be timestamped in the description box as well. So go ahead and find yours, and I'll see you there. Hello, group number 1. Welcome to your reading. Let's go ahead and see what step you can take to increase your level of happiness. So you felt drawn to the dolphin here. So, this card is all about spirituality. It's about connecting with your soul. It's about getting into some type of healing modality that is going to increase your happiness or increase your level of understanding and compassion for yourself. So I definitely feel like it's a pretty straightforward message. We are going to use some tarot just to get into the details, but I do feel like it's worth mentioning that this card can also symbolize somebody who is often underestimating or undermining their own ability to impact the world around them or their worth. It seems like there may be a little bit of that going on. So this feels like a combination of 2 things. One being that you need to strengthen your spiritual practice in order to find that level of happiness that you're craving. And the other side of it is that you need to stop undermining yourself. You need to stop doubting your level of worthiness of that happiness. All right. So let's get into the nitty-gritty. Yeah. 2 of Cups, I feel like this is definitely about you balancing your the steps that you're taking as well as yourself letting things in, because you can take steps to strengthen your spiritual practice all day long, but if you're not working on, say, shadow work or the root cause of some of your belief systems, then that spiritual work will only ever go so far in your life. And for you specifically, with this being a reading about your level of happiness, I feel like you definitely need to address both sides of it. So, taking those practical steps, doing the physical work, maybe you need to light more candles in your practice, leave offerings if that's what you're into, or maybe it's just about journaling more and meditating more, whatever your speed is. But I feel like, regardless, you need to be addressing your emotions as well. So, therapy, somatic movement, shadow work, inner child work. Obviously, do this in a safe way. If you're stuck in a body that doesn't feel safe to explore those things, then don't. Obviously, you need to address your level of comfort and safety before you dive into any heavy emotions. Excuse me, sorry. Um, but I do feel like there are some steps for you to take. The Ace of Wands is rarely about just an opportunity that's given to you that you don't have to like do anything with. This is something that you have to take practical steps with. So it's really about converging those two sides of yourself, but you have to take both sides seriously. Um, and laying that groundwork of making sure that you feel safe and secure before you do that is going to be a very important part of you taking this step. So you have this step where you need to approach yourself with balance. You need to approach yourself with healing in a way that's going to make you feel safe and secure. And then you can start taking those real practical steps in your spiritual path to increase your happiness. And some of that may not be this serious thing. I feel like this is worth mentioning. That's like, it doesn't have to be this serious, like, I'm going to meditate every single day for 15 minutes. That can be it, but it could be just dancing. It could just be sitting down and drawing for a little bit and letting your mind get into a meditative state. Whatever it looks like for you is going to be good. Always, always listen to your intuition. And that's why when I tell you guys, take what resonates and leave the rest, it's such an important thing. And it helps you to take what's going to serve you the most, because if you're receiving a reading or if you're getting into spiritual practices that really just feel off or not really yours, but you're taking it because it's there and I'm saying it to you, or it's there and you're trying to make it a habit, then that ends up causing so much more resistance in your energy than if you were to just say, actually, this isn't for me. I'm ready to move on to the next thing. So just feel it out. You'll know what steps to take. The last thing that I want to say is that with this Five of Cups being after the fact, I do feel like you need to prepare for this to open the doors for you to be more connected to your emotions, which is ultimately what you want, but it may be a little bit intense. It may be a little bit hard. There are definitely some things that maybe you are repressing right now. And when you start to balance things out emotionally and start to take those steps, whatever it looks like for you, I do feel like that it's like opening the floodgates, and you may cry more, you may have more intense emotions. However it manifests for you, just know that it's safe to do that. And I do feel like that's one of the reasons why I feel like it's so important for you to create that balance and that safety before you jump into this work, because it will be opening the doors for something more. And just trust the process, because this isn't something that you can rush. This isn't something that you can force to grow. You're only going to have so much at a time that you can deal with. And that's for good reason. Your brain will continue to protect you from the things that you're not ready for. So, to increase your level of happiness, you really are going to need to channel this dolphin energy and increase and work on your spirituality. With that being said, you need to focus on the groundwork first. So, depending on how safe you feel with your emotions, you may need to spend quite some time in this first step of like balancing things out and connecting with both your masculine and your feminine energies before you start that journey. Yeah. All right, there's your message. I definitely feel like this is a very straightforward, like step by step, and I appreciate that. I appreciate when spirit does that. But it's a very clear message, so I hope that it resonates. And as always, take what resonates and leave the rest. I wish you all the best in increasing your level of happiness. You're so worthy of feeling good, and I appreciate you so much for watching. Best be. Hello, group number 2. Welcome to your reading. Let's go ahead and see what step you can take to increase your level of happiness. So, this card here, the elephant, is all about trust. So, I do feel like this is a combination of you trusting yourself and trusting your creative process, as well as trusting the universe, to supply you along that path. So, I do feel like you may be feeling a little bit stuck. You may be feeling a little bit stagnant. And I do get the feeling that this is for a reason, that you're not stuck because you've done anything wrong or that you're like procrastinating the next logical step. It feels more like there are purposeful obstacles in your way, and you're needing to spend a little bit more time where you're currently at before you move forward. So that may be something that's kind of blocking your ability to feel happy because you're like so focused on what you're doing wrong or what you're not able to do at all. Let's get into some tarot. Get some clear steps that you can take. Okay. Start by decluttering. I do feel like this is going to be a little bit of a slower process than you would like. The process of you dismantling your belief system is something that is going to take some time, and for good reason. This is so that you can build stability off of this process and not, rush into this positive thinking without there being a solid structure for those belief systems to exist on. So this is about you decluttering, letting go of the responsibilities that you're carrying with you that either no longer resonate or are just not really yours to carry. So this could be a little bit more literal in like the physical sense where you may be overworking yourself and you need to delegate a little bit more. It could be a little bit more on the emotional or mental way of like you taking on the responsibility for circumstances that were out of your control, things that happened to you that just shouldn't have happened, but they did, and it wasn't your fault. But it definitely feels like there's some pain that needs to be addressed. And some power that is due back to yourself. This overall feels like a combination of trust and inner strength that's coming through. So you may be kind of feeling stagnant and unhappy because you're not feeding into yourself. You're not giving yourself that oomph that you really deserve. So once you kind of declutter and take those steps to at least recognize, you don't have to remove it all, but recognize how you're carrying too much and what it is that you are carrying that is too much, then I feel like you'll be able to more easily address the subconscious obstacles that have developed through that process of taking on way, way too much. So once you do that, that's where I feel like you're going to be receiving that inner strength and that inner power, because it is difficult. It is very difficult for you to get to a position where you're ready to address those things. But once you start that journey, I do feel like it's going to happen pretty quickly. But I feel like this is where it's slow. The recognizing what it is that you're overwhelming yourself with and being willing to tackle it all and let go of what no longer serves you. It's like this process of you reclaiming your power and strength in a situation or many situations, which can come with different pathways of different belief systems that you have to address. So know that there are some physical things that you can do, but most of this is going to be mental. Most of this is going to be a little bit of your like subconscious that you're dealing with. So just understand that that takes time, that it takes time to actually rewire your brain. But with that, I do feel like you will have a much more clearer idea of where you want to go. This stagnation feels like it's coming because you can't proceed into the next chapter with all of this baggage that you're dealing with. It's just not possible, or it's not going to be fulfilling, and the universe knows that, so they're putting obstacles in your way. Again, I feel like the obstacles that you're facing, the stagnation that you're facing, is very purposeful. It's not just, whatever. It's not just there just because. So trust that as you unveil the truth to yourself, and as you reclaim your power, and as you kind of get out of your comfort zone, you will find that clarity, and you will have that power and that strength and that confidence that is needed to progress forward. Again, take your time. Really go through this process in a very mindful and purposeful way. That way that you're building this path off of stability. You're building this next stage that you're heading into with clarity and confidence. But I just feel like with this Page of Wands being at the end here, that you're heading towards this energy where it's like fresh ideas, maybe some fluffy ideas. You feel better about yourself. You feel more confident to take on the challenges that you may face. You feel more steady in your energy. You're just excited overall, which can be summed up to happiness, because when we're feeling that good, we're happy. So you just have to address the baggage that you're carrying. I say just like it's an easy thing. I recognize that it's not. There are parts of it that I'm sure will be easier than others, but you're worthy of this process. You are worthy of taking this step to increase your level of happiness. So that's what I'm seeing for you. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you found this reading to be helpful and insightful, then oh my God, please give this reading a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do appreciate you, and I wish you all the best in creating this happiness for yourself. You're worthy of it. You're beautiful. You're wonderful. Thank you. I'll see you later. Bye. Hello, group number 3. Welcome to your reading. Let's go ahead and see what step you can take to increase your level of happiness. So you felt drawn to this card here, the Dragonfly. And this card is all about the mind. It's all about understanding it, respecting it, maybe reworking some of it, but it is about your mind. So I do feel like you've got some mental health stuff going on. I'm not here to diagnose you or anything like that, but I do feel like it's a pretty significant aspect as to why you may be lacking in your happiness. There's also a message of this in this card to focus on your breath. And I feel like I should say, not everybody is going to resonate with that. Not everybody can simply practice deep breathing or breathing exercises and come back into their body. For some people, depending on who you are and what you've been through, that may actually amplify your fight or flight, your lizard brain. So do what resonates for you, do what feels safe and good for your body, but understand that working with your breath may be something that is beneficial for you. So let's get into some details here. Yeah, a little bit of a decluttering situation in your mind. Maybe you're thinking about a lot of things, you're stressing about a lot of things. There's probably some misguided perceptions about the truth of your reality. You may be perceiving things in a very difficult or harsh way. Maybe you're judging yourself a lot. Maybe you're judging other people a lot, judging the universe or just your life circumstances, feeling very overwhelmed and burdened. And I feel like some of that, not all, some of that can be remedied by you clearing things up within your mind, creating a more strict routine around your mental health and the things that you probably already know that help you, but either you got a little bit out of routine with them, or you just haven't felt the desire to practice those things. And maybe there's some things that you haven't discovered yet, but overall, I feel like when you approach your mental health, it doesn't need to be so like cut and dry. It doesn't need to be this very how do I word this? Because I feel like there's a balance between the unconventional approach to your mind and the strict routine. I think that there's something that you need to do that would give you more freedom and desire to practice routines around your mental health, like more self-care, more structure, like daily journaling, daily meditation, maybe more therapy, whatever it is for you. But I just feel like it looks a little bit different than maybe the advice that you're receiving from like when you're scrolling on TikTok on like mental health talk, or like I don't know. There's something about it. I feel like you're getting some type of advice in your life that works on the surface, but may actually be inflaming your situation, or not helping you to get to the root of the issue. I feel like when you get to the root, it's going to be in a very unconventional way. It's going to be in a way that makes sense for you only, that is safe, but it makes sense for you and it is a little bit out there. With that, I do feel like as soon as you get into that routine, as soon as you appreciate your own boundaries with your mind and you start to rework your belief system and your perspective, then I feel like you're able to breathe again. Then I feel like you're going on this journey of opening yourself up and really feeling confident about it, feeling good about it, feeling like you have a sense of direction. You may not know exactly where you're going, but there's footing underneath you. There's clarity there, and there's substance for you to hold on to. Let's pull a little bit more. Maybe a need for balance. Yeah. A need for you to really embrace your emotions in a balanced way, in a safe way. And if you're feeling overcluttered, if you're feeling overwhelmed, I mean, you're going to get there, but it's going to be difficult too. So cutting out the things, the methods, the modalities that really aren't working for you anymore, listening to your heart, listening to your sense of purpose in life so that you can find what works for you. Because mental health work, it's hard. It is very hard to say, go to therapy, talk things out, and get to the root of issues. It's hard to stay dedicated to yourself and do all of these things to take care of yourself if you are struggling with them. For those of you that for those people that are like, it's easy to do that. It's easy to like have these routines around self-care. It's my favorite part. That is true to an extent, but that just, I mean, it's just an indicator of like your level of struggle. So just remember that you're valid if you're having this moment of like, fuck this, it's too much, I can't do it, I don't have it in me to like sort through everything. Let yourself feel that way. Let yourself feel very frustrated and pissed off, because the system that is set up for us is very challenging, and it's hard to navigate, especially as somebody that is struggling. So just a little message of like validation there. It's hard work, and you're allowed to take your time with it, and you're allowed to feel a little bit frustrated and overwhelmed by it. Not every single aspect of it is that way, and I do feel like you can rework some of it to feel so much more better and like it is your favorite part of your life. Um, but just understand that you're not doing anything wrong just because it feels like hard work. There's just some things that I feel like you need to change to make it more resonating for you or more connected to what you really want to do. There's a sense of purpose here that I feel like you're missing in your mental health journey. I do feel like you are going to have to grieve, you are going to have to let go, and you do have support in that, but it's important that you support yourself. That's the most important thing. The most important thing. So, for you to increase your level of happiness, the next step is to be reworking the way you approach your mental health and create a more solid and balanced routine around feeling your emotions and around creating clarity for yourself. So, if you found this reading to be helpful and insightful and you like the way that I read, then please consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do post a weekly pick a card reading. So, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. I love you. And know that you are so worthy of a routine that feels good for you. Love you guys. Bye. Hello, group number 4. Welcome to your reading. Let's go ahead and see what step you can take to increase your level of happiness. So you felt drawn to this cheetah here. And this card is all about intensity, it's about warmth, movement, forward movement, and masculine energy. So taking lots of action in your life. There's also a message here of focusing on your purpose in life, focusing on a feeling of purpose in whatever you're approaching. So it may not be your grand purpose. And I personally believe that we have multiple purposes throughout life. But focusing on a sense of purpose. So for you to increase your level of happiness, we're going to tap into some tarot, but I definitely feel like it's going to be centered around you increasing your why, refocusing on why you started doing what you're doing, or why you're interested in starting something. Yeah. That last message of refocusing on your why is going to be the most important factor. Maybe you're kind of in this dead end situation, or just a situation that still kind of makes sense for you, but either you're facing too many obstacles for you to desire to keep going, or the path forward doesn't really resonate or make sense. So I definitely feel like there's this message here of you reconnecting with the purpose, you reconnecting with the direction and the emotional aspect as to why you're doing what you're doing. It may be a job, it could be a creative project, it could just be your self-care routine that you need to kind of revamp. But your direction in it, the reason why you're doing it, needs to be more aligned in order for you to stay grasped onto it. And there may be some adjustments. There may be a little bit of this letting go period, where you redecide, actually, I don't connect with that why anymore that I decided at the beginning. I need to change a few things. Maybe I need to change the whole thing, scrap it, throw it away, or maybe I just need to change a few aspects of it to make it align with who I've developed into today. With that, I feel like with the Ace of Wands being reversed, it's kind of like this standstill. It's like the universe is going to support you, but it can't give you the opportunities that you're really looking for if you don't understand what it is that you want them for in the first place, or like why you want them, what you're going to do with them. If you don't have clarity, then it's hard for the universe to match that and really understand what to give you in the first place. So there may be a lack of opportunities here that are kind of frustrating, that are difficult for you to deal with, that will ultimately get better as you approach your emotions and the things that you want to feel out of your path forward. I'm getting the sense that this is kind of just a project that you're working on, or like something within work or your career altogether. It just kind of feels like you need to reconnect with that, in order to have a clear direction forward. With that, I also feel like with the Six of Cups being out, that this is going to be something that brings up some memories for you, some inner child work. So it's going to be important for you to stay open in this process. If you start to feel anything that's like pretty heavy, know that it's safe for you to explore those things. You have the King of Cups being upright. So I do feel like you are emotionally ready to handle anything that does come up in the process of you reworking your belief system or your why, the core of what you're facing. You're ready to explore that. And especially with you being drawn to this cheetah here, it's like all of that power, all of that light that you have in your life, it's coming from within. It's not something that's like coming at you. It's coming from within and spreading outwards, and you're just seeing it around you because you're human, and that's what you recognize first, is like what's around you. So know that it's safe to connect with that inner world because it's already a very powerful place. It's already something that is very safe for you to explore these things. You just may feel some stuff come up in the process. But it's okay. It's good. And I do feel like as you do this, you reconnecting with your purpose isn't just about this project. It isn't just about you working on this specific thing. I feel like this is changing a lot of things for you. So as you reconnect, and adjust accordingly here in this department, everything else in your life will kind of have this clarity where you're like, oh, I'm doing this in over here. I didn't realize that I wasn't fully connected over here in this department, or I didn't realize that I was so connected and thriving over here. Maybe I should focus more attention in this area of my life. Like, I feel like there are different things that are going to come up as a result of you doing this work. It may just be that you need to focus in on one project first before you can find that clarity in all aspects, and ultimately that happiness. So for you, the next step to take is to appreciate your emotions, appreciate your inner world, the things that you're ready for. And also, it's time to rework your why. It's time to adjust it or throw something out so that you can create a completely new why. But you need to feel purpose. You need to feel passion. And if there's not enough of that, then it's going to be really fucking hard for you to have all of that forward motion. Yeah, beautiful. All right, that's what I'm seeing for you. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. I appreciate you so much. And if you like the way that I read and you found this reading to be helpful and insightful, then please consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do post a weekly pick a card reading. So thank you again for staying open to these messages. Take what resonates, leave the rest. I wish you all the best. Blessed be. Hello, group number 5. Welcome to your reading. Let's go ahead and see what step you can take to increase your level of happiness. So you felt drawn to this card here, the sea serpent, and this card is really all about expressing your desires and understanding your emotions, really feeling them and expressing them outwards. So to sum it up, this card is about expression. It's about expressing your desires, expressing your emotions, expressing your concerns, expressing your fears, your doubts, your worries, expressing your love, the passions that you have. It's about letting yourself flow and really connecting with that part of yourself. So that may be something that you've kind of cut yourself off from. Maybe you don't feel safe to express yourself. Maybe you don't feel like it's worth it for one reason or another. But we're going to tap into some tarot to get some details on this. This also feels like an opportunity for you to address a mother wound from within. There's a aspect of this card that really does deal with that divine feminine energy that I feel like often gets repressed in men, women, and non-binary people. It often gets repressed because society is very, very we'll just say judgmental towards that energy, and it isn't accepted. It isn't widely accepted for people to express anything that has to do with the feminine energy. That's not to say for all parts of the world, but for the majority of people that I read for, I think that's something that you guys can relate to. So I do feel like there's this message of handling your mother wound. You may not have any trauma with your mother, maybe you do, but all of us have that energy, that mother energy in us. It's an archetype that exists within us. And if there is any trauma there, whether it be from society or whether it be from your own mother or somebody that you knew as a mother figure, it's valid and it's important to explore it. I definitely feel like things in your life are changing significantly. Astrologically, you may be hitting a pretty significant change in your life, like your Saturn return, maybe, oh goodness, I'm blanking on all the other big significant things that could happen in your chart. But you may be going through something astrologically. It could be as simple as, the new moon transiting something in your 11th house. Like, it just depends on who you are. But I do feel like it's worth mentioning. And I feel like it's worth mentioning because some of this is not in your control. It's like you're at a place in your life where things are shifting with or without you. And in order for you to align with more happiness, you're going to have to learn to express how you're feeling in the midst of all these changes. Maybe you don't like change. Maybe change is really scary for you and unsettling. And you're going to have to connect to that mother archetype within and give yourself comfort and give yourself that nurturing energy that a emotionally mature mother would give to you. And an emotionally mature mother would give you the room and the safety to express your full range of emotions, not just the positive ones. In the midst of that. And that's where I feel like you're really going to find that an increase in your happiness. And I really want to emphasize the full range of your emotions. There are no good or bad emotions. That's just kind of like what we do as humans. We like to label things as good and bad, and that's not a problem. But it becomes an issue if you're saying, I'm only allowed and I'm only safe to feel this amount of emotions. When it starts to teeter into the bad emotions or the unhealthy emotions, then I'm not safe, and I can't express that. Which, I mean, yeah, you don't want to go into your workplace and start hooting and hollering and throwing a fit. I mean, maybe you do, but that wouldn't really be the most beneficial situation. But giving yourself permission to express how you really feel, behind closed doors or with a close friend or with your mother, that's where I feel like you're going to be able to experience more happiness, because you're not holding yourself back from the other sides. And this does call to mind some shadow work, which makes sense with this card being mostly about expressing your emotions and understanding them. I feel like there's so much healing that you can pull from, in the process of shadow work. So with that, lastly, I feel like I mean, this kind of sums back into everything that I've been saying, is that there's this mother wound that you may be dealing with, and learning to create a sense of safety, um, around you feeling the full spectrum of your emotions is going to be an important step to you feeling that happiness. But I also kind of feel like with this card that this is about taking care of your body and your environment, that nurturing your physical health is something that is significantly going to impact your ability to open up to happiness and feel worthy of expressing your emotions. Tending to your physical environment, like cleaning up your room, maybe making your bed every day, or, on the days that you really can. Some days mental health gets in the way, and that's valid. But really just giving yourself that push to say, I am worthy of a healthy body. I am worthy of a healthy physical environment. I'm going to tend to it a little bit more in ways that I can. I understand not everybody has access to all the things that would make our bodies at peak health, and that's worth giving yourself compassion to. If that's not something that you have accessible to you, that's okay. Just do what you can. But I do feel like having that nurturing relationship with your body, not just your emotions and your mind, is something that's really going to bring more consistent and balanced levels of happiness. That's another thing with not really letting yourself feel the full spectrum of emotions. When you do feel happiness, it may feel a little bit out of control and a little bit unsafe and unsteady. If you're feeling all of your emotions, then it'll feel more flowing and less intense and scary to feel that that level of happiness. So understand that this is going to be a learning experience. It is something that is going to require excuse me, your attention to detail and your ability to nurture and really just forgive yourself for the things that you have been holding on to, or maybe the things that you didn't hold on to. There may be a level of shame that you're holding on to that is preventing you from feeling like you can do this healing work. Yeah, really good steps to take. I feel like they're big, but they're good, and there's a clear path here. And I have a frog in my throat. I apologize. But I definitely feel like you are in the right place to start this work. You are worthy of it and you're ready for it. So it's just your job to take the first step. So I hope that you found this reading to be helpful, insightful, and uplifting. And if you like the way that I read, then please consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do post a weekly pick a card reading. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for letting me read for you. I appreciate you and I love you very much. And I believe in you and your worthiness to feel the full spectrum of your emotions. Blessed be.